here. I mean, it was just not what I expected. I expected it to be a little cleaner and nicer. I mean, my dad and I said this earlier, so I may be repeating myself, but those of you that weren't watching earlier, I mean, there was just rats everywhere. I was sitting having dinner with my dad outside at one table, and a rat the size of a chihuahua just ran by us. I mean, it was gross. It was scary. It was gross. I could barely sleep because, I mean, we were in the inner harbor, which is supposed to be like very nice, like fun area. And all night the sirens and the yelling outside, like people just yelling and fighting and sirens, just craziness going on. And it's heartbreaking because the city is beautiful. Inner Harbor is beautiful, and it has so many awesome attractions, and it is like you would think of it as a family-friendly place, but it has really declined. And my dad, when I were talking about it, and he was like, I had no idea it had declined this rapidly. It's always been, in sort of a decline, but it has just gone downhill pretty fast, and it was just kind of disappointing, and it's disheartening because of those people that live there, and they're not getting any support. I was talking earlier with a woman, and we were talking about all of the grants and the federal donations and money and everything that's been funded to the city of Baltimore, and they're still living in filth and just disgusting. It was gross. I mean, our Uber driver even told us that he basically made a joke and said, "Welcome to the heroin capital of the country." I don't know if that's true. I don't know. But, I mean, it's just sad that that's what that city has turned into. Because, again, it's beautiful and it has so much potential. And, again, just something that's been in the news. And Donald Trump is being persecuted for it because of, his honesty. But he's right. He's speaking the truth, and it's a shame. So
there might be a reason that the last 3 mayors of Baltimore have been booted out for corruption. Maybe there's something there to it.
There's got to be. I don't understand. It doesn't look like it's not well kept. It's not kept up at all. And again, I didn't see the whole city. So I can only speak for what I saw and my experience. But.
And then what did you think after Elijah Cummings gave the Democrats so much flack over saying something like that, or after Elijah Cummings gave the President Trump so much flack over saying that Baltimore was rat infested, then he comes out and he says that Baltimore, there's an old video that resurfaced, because if you say something on tape, it doesn't go anywhere. So an old video came out and it showed Elijah Cummings saying that Baltimore was drug infested. Well, doesn't that sound a lot like rat infested? And my question then was, is that going to be considered racist? Are we going to see the Democrats and the mainstream media come out and decry racism of Elijah Cummings? Is that going to happen?
It's interesting that you brought that up, Baylor. I saw that the other day, that video resurfaced, and I was like, wow, how the tables have turned. Because, how ironic. That video surfaces of him saying it's drug infested, and he said that the people were like zombies. I'm like 99% sure. Don't come at me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but I'm almost positive I read that he said that people were like zombies and drug infested, and that was gross. And exactly what you're saying. What, are they going to come after him? No. Because, they don't look at him the same way that they look at President Trump. So they're offended, and how could President Trump ever say anything like that? But yet their own representative is saying the same thing, and it's disappointing because Elijah Cummings is not going to get the same flack that the president got. And that, again, we've seen that time and time again where President Trump gets constantly attacked for things, when others are doing, saying the same honest truth, if not worse. And he just always gets attacked for it. So no, they will not attack Elijah Cummings because they'll think, or he didn't say it, or now that's, they're trying to, counteract what President Trump has said. But, the video doesn't lie, as if he said that. I can't believe he calls his own people zombies. That just, I don't know.
Absolutely, and I think you're right. It's the definition of a double standard. No one ever will bring the same question to a Democrat. No one will say anything like that. But when a Democrat says the same exact thing, complete and utter silence. That's all we hear, and that's all we ever hear. I mean, the Democratic debates are so interesting. You sit there and you watch the Democratic debates and you go, these questions are softballs. You know what I'm saying? A debate is supposed to be something where you toss up questions and it's supposed to pit candidates against each other and they're supposed to take controversial stances, but it's like, do you support Medicare for all? Yeah. And then it's like, do you think Donald Trump's a racist? There was actually a question from Don Lemon where he said last night, he talked about Trump's bigotry. Like, that was in the question. It wasn't a candidate that said it, a quote-unquote objective journalist. What a joke. To me, I'm just sitting there, I'm going, the double standard is unreal. Because can you imagine if the Republicans were having a debate? If somebody like Kasich ran against Trump, which he's talked about doing a couple times, he'd lose in a landslide, but they'd still have to have debates. And so if they had a debate, can you imagine somebody pointing to another candidate and saying, what about the bigotry of X? What about the bigotry of Bernie Sanders? What about the bigotry of Kamala Harris? What about X, Y, Z? Can you imagine what would happen? I mean, the media would just explode and the Democratic establishment would just explode. They wouldn't know how to handle it. But it's like if you attack President Trump, it's fair game, regardless of if it's true or not. And that's something that just absolutely struck me. But one moment that was interesting, I thought, transitioning a little bit to the Democratic debates was, did you see last night? I know we were doing the live stream, but I found some videos of it. Did you see when Tulsi Gabbard absolutely took down Kamala Harris? Tom's over here shaking his head, yes. I know I wasn't the only.
Tulsi Gabbard would switch to be a Republican. I really do. I'm going to pray she does that.
You and me both.
All right, guys, back here in the studio, I just wanted to update you guys really quick. The reason that you're seeing some of this fluctuation here and the picture kind of going in and out, and why we're not showing the crowd right now is because we don't have satellite trucks like the big guys in the media, so we are using these two little units called the Live View machine. They've done really well for us. We've upgraded. We've got the next best thing other than satellite trucks, and so when the bandwidth is at a premium, and right now it is, it's pretty sketchy inside this arena with all these people here. The cell network isn't as great as it was, and the Wi-Fi is also starting to degrade a little bit because the rest of the media have showed up now. And right now it's looking okay, but it gets a little dicey from time to time. But the reason we're keeping it on the podium right now is because when we move it, the pixelation starts to affect the stream. And so we're trying to keep it as still as possible for just a few minutes here. And hopefully we'll get through. Once President Trump comes up, we will have his speech in full. You can count on that, so don't worry. Just wanted to update you guys on what's going on back here. With the technical side of things, we're doing everything we can to keep this up for you. And hey, we're doing our best. We haven't had any issues in a long time, and we don't anticipate having them tonight. So God bless, thank y'all, and back to the action.
From a political science standpoint, so President Trump, we're getting close, and the anticipation is high, and we're getting close, about 15 minutes away to 7 p.m. Eastern when President Trump comes out and steals the show here at the U.S. Bank Arena. The place is absolutely packed. 20,000 plus strong are here and ready to go, ready to welcome President Trump to my home state, the great state of Ohio, and give him a great welcome here. And we'll see what happens. See what President Trump, he covers every issue, and he'll talk about everything. And we're so grateful that you're joining us on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Check us out on our website, rsbnetwork.com. rsbnetwork.com. There you'll find all the links to donate. We really appreciate your donations. Keeps us going to these rallies. It keeps us, gives us encouragement, and gives us the strength as we travel to all these rallies and visit these great battleground states like here in Ohio, to keep Ohio red, to vote for the re-election of Donald J. Trump. We're part of this 2020 campaign, and we're glad that you're along with us for the ride. Kate?
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, I want to know what y'all think of the Democratic debates. I don't want to waste too much time focusing on those clowns. But I want to hear what y'all have to say, because we were just blown away at the actual stupidity that was occurred during those debates. So now we have Secret Service coming very shortly. I cannot wait to see him in the flesh. I don't know about y'all, but this is an awesome experience again. Like Tom said, we couldn't do it without y'all's donations. So I'm very excited. They put the seal on the podium and we are about 14 minutes out. So hopefully he will be coming out soon. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very excited and hoping that he comes out pretty soon. The crowd is ready. We're all ready. I know the viewers at home are ready to hear from our president. I'm going to hand it over to Baylor for a few last words before, hopefully, our president, maybe our vice president. We have no idea who's coming out first, but I'm going to hand it over to Baylor, and he can share with y'all a few last thoughts before we hear from our president.
Did y'all see what I just saw? I know you did. The presidential seal has been put on the podium. His speech has been put on the podium. The president is coming at any minute, and that's why, one more time, we got to tell you about our sponsors over at Dismecoin. So you got to go check out www.dismecoins.com. Go check them out, because when you do, when you donate to RSBN right now, the first two before, or not the first two, I'm sorry, two at random before the president speaks and two at random after the president speaks, two of those donations will be chosen to get a free copper coin courtesy of our partners over at Dismecoin. We absolutely love working with them. Go check out their MAGA coins. They are coins made in America by Americans for Americans. They are absolutely fantastic. Dismecoin's American-made coins of copper and silver. www.dismecoins.com. Check them out. Also, before the president hops up, we also got to talk about our sponsor over at Covfefe Coffee, making coffee great again. You got to go check them out. So, it's finally coffee for a stable genius. Got to go check them out. www.doyoucofefe.com. Here. Whoa. So they are bringing more people down to the floor level. This is absolutely fantastic. And when they do, you know what that means. The President of the United States is coming out to speak. Absolutely fantastic. But again, go check out our friends over at Covfefe Coffee. Covfefe, making coffee great again. Dismecoins and Covfefe. Can't get much better than that. All right. So now we sit here and we wait for the president as this melodic song comes through, but can't let you hear it because we'll get a copyright claim. But it's like the Titanic song or something like that. I don't know. Not really a good thing to come out to. That's kind of concerning, but nevertheless, we're waiting for the president to come out right now. It's got to be quite literally any minute now because of the fact that they have put the presidential seal on the podium, they put the speech on the podium, and the president will take main stage, and we'll be bringing all of his speech to you live. But you should also go check out our social media, because hopefully if we can get some good Wi-Fi, we'll be live tweeting and live showing everything that the president has. So just go check it out at RSB Network. Go check it out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass it back off to Kate as we eagerly await the arrival of the President of the United States.
You know, this again has been an amazing and great experience. But it's like a waiting game. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like waiting for Santa Claus, you know, to come on Christmas Eve, Christmas morning. So people are still filing in. I'm just amazed at how many people are here. Like I said, people are standing because the seats are all full. so, this arena is packed out, and maybe he did sell out just like Carrie Underwood. I'm sure we'll find out later what the exact number is. But I am just so excited. People are eagerly awaiting, as I said before, and I'm just very interested to see what he talks about and to hear all he has to say tonight. And I know that our viewers at home are also ready and excited to hear from our president. I've had the pleasure of watching before I started with RSBN. I've watched the rallies, and when I was hired, I watched even more to get prepared and help with the training and get ready for this experience. And he always puts on a great show. He is definitely a showstopper, and I'm sure that it will be nothing short of that tonight. I'm sure he will speak on so many different topics that he knows these people in Ohio want to hear about, as well as us, or as well as our viewers at home. Again, I'm sure he'll be very energetic, and he'll keep the crowd going. They're already energetic. As I said, they were doing the wave around the whole arena earlier. It was pretty cool. Like I said, maybe we can get that out to one of our social media networks for y'all to see if you didn't get to see it from our live stream. Now we're just waiting. People are waving their signs in the air, flashlights. I know y'all can all see it, and it's just an awesome experience. And again, we wouldn't be able to do it without y'all's donations. So please, please, please donate. And we will keep bringing these rallies, this coverage to you. We love being able to do this, and if y'all will allow us to, then we will keep doing it. I'm going to hand it back to Baylor, still eagerly awaiting. He is really making us play the waiting game for this rally. It's kind of crazy. It's just more people, as I said, are filing in. They keep filing in. It's insane. So I'm going to hand it over to Baylor, and he's going to speak a little more. Again, I know y'all are getting tired of hearing our voices, and we are too, but we are just waiting patiently for President Trump. Baylor?
Okay, everybody, we're back here at the studio here in Auburn, and we're going to try something really quick to see if we can boost our signal a little bit. You know, the interesting thing, as I've said before many times, those of you who have been watching Right Side for a long time, you know that we are not a huge company like mainstream media. We're a very small company from Little Auburn, Alabama here, and proud of it. But when we have issues like this where there's literally no bandwidth here in the building, and the Wi-Fi's gone out, and the cell towers are overloaded, so we're doing everything we can to boost the signal. You'll get to see Trump's speech here in full. Don't worry. We're doing everything we can to make it happen for you. And also, I wanted to remind you that if you're watching this on another YouTube channel, I'm not going to name names, but unless it's one of the big networks, those channels aren't really at the rallies. It's believe me, it's very tough to get a signal out, and we are the only ones who have invested all this money to be able to go and actually live stream all this ourselves. We don't take anybody else's material. It's all original here at RSBN. We're waiting on the crew to come back up. I'm just waiting on that right now, so stand by for a sec. We'll get you right back in just a second.
and they are fired up. You can hear them. It's just a beautiful place. You really should, if you've never been to a President Trump rally, you need to go and experience this. It's just really a wonderful sight to see. All the great patriots here. The place is packed, 20,000 strong plus at the U.S. Bank Arena here in Cincinnati, Ohio, right on the border of Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Ohio being a key battleground state since the year 2000. Every presidential year, the White House goes through my home state of Ohio. So President Trump knows how important it is that he delivers a message of jobs, jobs, jobs here in the great city of Cincinnati, where they're experiencing economic renaissance. Baylor?
Absolutely. We just got some good news from Team Trump 1 minute ago. Wow, I'm losing my voice. From Team Trump 1 minute ago, it said President real Donald Trump, I'm reading his Twitter handle, President Donald Trump is about to take the stage in Cincinnati. He's coming, ladies and gentlemen. We promise he's coming. Also, breaking news, the U.S. of troops from Afghanistan as part of a new proposed deal. So that is fantastic. Two pieces of good news on top of each other. It's just absolutely fantastic. And we're sitting here and we're waiting for the president here at U.S. Bank Arena as we're sitting here with a capacity of nearly 20,000 people, and it is packed to the brink. I mean, it's absolutely packed. Right before the president comes out, we gotta remind you, 2 random donors before the president's speech and after the president's speech will receive a free copper coin from Disney Coins, www.DISMEcoins. That's www.DISMEcoins, Disney Coins. Wow, it is loud in here if I'm losing my voice trying to talk into the microphone. We love it. We're excited for the president to come out on stage. Come check out Disney Coins, www.disneycoins, DISME coins, American-made coins by American machines for Americans by Americans. We absolutely love them. Go check them out. And when you do, use code RSBN to let them know that we sent you. We eagerly await the President of the United States. As usual, and this is what you gotta love about the President, he is fashionably late, and we absolutely love it. He should be here any moment now. Well, I guess he's not fashionably late. There just hasn't been an interim of speakers. There's just been a little bit of a lull. So he's not late per se, but we really want him to come out. We cannot wait. So I'm gonna pass it back over to Kate. Kate, what are you thinking right now?
I am getting impatient, Baylor. I mean, again, very excited and happy to be here and thankful for all of our wonderful viewers and donors that we can come to these rallies. But I am just so ready to see the president. I might scream like a little fangirl when he comes out. I don't know. It might just happen. I'm very excited. Everyone here is very excited. Some people on their feet waiting and ready to see our president. So hopefully we are 1 minute away from 7 o'clock here in Cincinnati, Ohio. So hopefully he is right behind that black curtain, ready his way to the podium. Again, he will be fashionably late, as Baylor said. But like I was saying, although not just me, impatient, I'm for y'all are impatient at home. Here, ready and eager to hear what he has to say. Like I was saying, also this place is packed. I know our cameraman. music. Hopefully it will be out shortly. We are seeing an array of signs. We're seeing so many different signs. Women for Trump, keep America great, make America great, jobs, jobs, jobs. So many awesome signs and shirts that we've seen today. Really allowing people to show their support for Trump. And there's a group of people holding up shirts that say Trump and Republicans are not racist. And I think that's awesome, and hopefully President Trump sees them when he walks in, because again, that's a really awesome thing that they're out here trying to counteract those lies that are always said about President Trump and Republicans in general. So hopefully we'll see them and acknowledge them, because they are waving their shirts and their signs, and it's really awesome that they're out here supporting our president and seeing through the fake news and the lies. Again, we are just patiently and eagerly waiting, packed to the brim here, struggling with the Wi-Fi in this service. It has not been easy, so we apologize for any difficulties or coverage issues, because I mean, other news sources around us can't even get a stream out, can't even get any sort of live stream out, and have asked us what we're doing to be able to stream to y'all. So hopefully, we're making it work. We're doing our best to. Everything's fixed, and the Wi-Fi and service here has not been great. So our apologies, but we are doing the best we can, and hopefully we'll have it resolved and perfect for when the President of the United States comes out. At this point, I'm guessing he's just, showing out and making a scene that he can be fashionably late. Not that I'm one to talk. I'm not a very prompt person. That's one of my difficulties and one of my struggles. So I can't say it all. But I know that everyone in this arena is eagerly waiting to hear from our president. Standing. Waving signs, shirts, ready to hear. Not really sure what the holdup is. Maybe he'll give us a little explanation, because I'm starting to get a little angry. Not really. I understand. He's the president. He can, he can be late if he wants to be late, I guess. Am I right? But we are just waiting and waiting. I still see people coming in up top, at the very top where it looks like more reserved seating, probably for, high ticket payers, if they were here for a concert or arena. More private areas up top. People are filing in up there too, so we are just packed. Like I said, people standing at the rails, on the stairs, at their feet, and I'm so glad it filled out, because it was slowly filling in this afternoon, but it has surely picked up, and now even more people are coming in. There's really nowhere to go. So we are just waiting. Again, people ready with their cameras ready, their phones ready, hoping that our president comes out soon. Again, hopefully the connection is better for y'all. It's been so hard for us to see the live chat, see donations, see anything like that. But we are doing the best we can, so bear with us while we work through these difficulties. And as we wait and wait and wait, I'm going to hand it off to Baylor and see if he has anything else to add. I know I said that 20 minutes ago, but if he has any other, hopefully, final thoughts, because hopefully our president is coming out soon. So I'm going to hand it off to Baylor, and again, we're just waiting patiently. So here is Baylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to go check out our sponsors over at Disney Coins, www.disneycoins, D-I-S-M-E coins. You want to know why? Because before the president comes out and speaks, and after the president comes out and speaks, they're going to choose two lucky random people to send a copper coin to. But in order to do that, you got to donate in the RSBN Super Chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that Super Chat, that $ sign down in the right-hand corner. You click on that $sign, send a donation, and you will be in the running for potentially a copper Disney coin. We love our friends over at Disney Coin. Go check them out. www.dismecoins.com. Again, that's www.dismecoins.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just give you a little preview of what's going on. So, this crowd is all on their feet. They're waiting the arrival of the President of the United States. Imagine 20,000 people standing. I mean, you're watching the podium, you're seeing what's going on there, but imagine 20,000 people standing. Even the upper rafter areas that are known as party suites that aren't usually open for political occasions are full, and there are people up there, and the music has just gone down. Could that mean we're awaiting the arrival of
Mike DeWine?
And here's Mike DeWine, the governor of the state of Ohio.
They told us that they would appoint conservative judges to the federal bench, and they have done it to a person. And what about this roaring economy? The lowest unemployment in almost 50 years in this country. Unbelievable. What an amazing story that is. You know, Mike Pence, Vice of faith. He is a man, and he is a man of integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my high honor to introduce to you the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence.
access to the real-time, world-class health care that you earned in the uniform of the United States. Here. And he promised to secure our borders. And President Trump delivered. We've made historic investments in border security. Mexico is doing more than ever before, and apprehensions on our southern border are already down by 30% in the last 2 months, and we've already started to build that wall. We're doing it. Oh, we're building it. And this president also promised to appoint principled conservatives to our federal courts, and President Trump has already appointed. Oh, we're building it. And this president also promised to appoint principled conservatives to our federal courts, and President Trump has already appointed more conservatives to our federal courts in the last 2 years than any president in American history. True. And with some of their candidates making promises to actually eliminate fossil fuels from this country, I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who puts American jobs and American energy first. Under President Donald Trump, the war on coal is over. So prosperity is back again. Confidence is back again. And thanks to the leadership of President Donald Trump, America is great again. But to keep America great, we have to re-elect the president who's been fighting for you, and we got to re-elect him for 4 more years. That's right. 4 more years means more jobs. 4 more years means more judges. 4 more years means more support for our troops. And you know, it's going to take at least 4 more years to drain that swamp. You know, the choice in this election couldn't be clearer. And my friends, the stakes couldn't be higher. Today we have a president who loves this country, who stands by our military, our workers, our values, and our freedom. He never quits. He never backs down. He believes in you, and I can tell you he fights for you every single day. It's true. And then you got these Democrats running for president. I mean, did you guys watch that debate this week? It was kind of hard to watch. I mean, those people were standing so far to the left, I thought that stage was going to flip over. I did. But seriously, today's Democratic Party is dominated by left-wing liberals who want higher taxes, open borders, and free health care for illegal immigrants. And maybe worst of all, today leading Democrats openly advocate socialism, an economic system that has impoverished millions. You know, but the people of Ohio know. It was freedom, not socialism, that made America the strongest and most prosperous nation in the history of the world. It was freedom, not socialism, that ended slavery, won 2 world wars, and made America a beacon of hope for all mankind. You know, the moment America becomes a socialist country is the moment America ceases to be America. So as the President said in his State of the Union address, so we must say with one voice, America will never be a socialist country. So that's our challenge, Ohio, and that's the choice. The campaign for victory in 2020 is on. So we need you to bring all this enthusiasm. We need you to be ready to vote, to volunteer, to voice your support, and we need you to bring faith. Faith in our fellow Americans. That when the American people are given a choice between more freedom and more government, they'll choose freedom every time. Faith in this president, whose drive and vision are making America great again, even as we speak. And finally, have faith that he who blessed this one nation under God will keep blessing America beyond anything we could ask or imagine. So let's have faith. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be with you tonight. And I'm here to tell you, President Donald Trump is a real deal. He's a man who says what he means and means what he says. And every day I see him get up and fight to keep the promises that he made to the American people, but now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to fight for him and take our case to every American all the way to victory on November 3rd, 2020. We got to do it. But I have every confidence with your support and prayers, we're going to keep on winning. We're going to keep on making America more prosperous and secure. And this man will keep America great. And now it's my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you my friend and the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. And I'm proud to
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you to Vice President Mike Pence, and hello, Cincinnati. You know, I used to work in Cincinnati, and a place called Swifton Village. You know what that is, Swifton Village? It was good, and it worked out well. And it gives you confidence when things work out well at a young age. And look what happened to all of us, right? Look what happened. Look what happened. But I was watching the so-called debate last night, and I also watched the night before. There was long television. And the Democrats spent more time attacking Barack Obama than they did attacking me, practically. Yeah. And this morning, that's all the fake news was talking about. That's all they were talking about. That wasn't pretty. No, we're doing good. It's great to be back in the state that I love. I love this state. Very special. Very, very special, on the banks of the beautiful Ohio River with the hard-working patriots of the American heartland. Thank you, Ohio. We love you, Ohio. So we've got thousands of people standing outside, and I asked the officials, can we sneak some up along the aisles? Can they sit on the stairs? But I'll tell you what, this is some crowd, some turnout. We've sold tens of thousands of tickets. And you know what the sale price is? We keep it nice and low. We keep it nice and low. But there never has been a movement like this. This is a movement the likes of which they've never seen before, maybe anywhere, but certainly in this country. They've never seen anything like this before. You came from the mountains and the valleys and the rivers, and you came look, from wherever you came from. There were a lot of you. And they showed up on Election Day. I'll never forget a wonderful congressman from Tennessee. They have early voting. One of the earliest places, great state, Tennessee. And he said, he was in Pennsylvania with me, great state. And he said, you know, sir, I've been doing this for a long time, but I've never seen people like this show up for early voting. People that haven't voted in a long time because they didn't see anybody they wanted to vote for. Said, I've never seen it. They have Trump banners and Trump hats and Trump buttons. Said, I've never seen it. And this great congressman said, I don't know, sir, but I can tell you one thing. If the rest of the country is voting like Tennessee is voting, you're going to win by a lot. And we won by a lot. Our nation is stronger today than ever before. We have the #1 economy on earth. No economy is so strong. We're rebuilding the awesome might of the United States military, and soon it will be stronger, relatively speaking, than at any time in our history. And when we took over, it was depleted. We took over a depleted military. It's not depleted anymore, I can tell you that. Our spirit is strong, our stride is back, and our stand is clear. We are finally putting America first. It's about time. We've created 6 million new jobs since Election Day. Nobody would have thought that was possible. More than 7 million Americans have been lifted off of food stamps. And they're happy. They're happy. 123,000 more Ohio workers are employed today than when I was elected. Think of that number. And right now, Ohio is the most successful it's ever been in the history of our country. Thank you. Congratulations, Ohio. Stand up, Mike. And you have a good governor, I want to tell you that. Good job, Mike. Unemployment has reached the lowest rate in over half a century, and unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans have all reached the lowest rates ever recorded. While Republicans are working every day to build up our country, the rage-filled Democrat Party is trying to tear America apart. The Democrat Party is now being led by 4 left-wing extremists who reject everything that we hold dear. No one has paid a higher price for the far left's destructive agenda than Americans living in our nation's inner cities. They have paid a dear price. You see what's happening? You see our inner cities. We spend billions and billions and billions for years and years and years, and it's stolen money, and it's wasted money, and it's a shame. For decades, these communities have been run exclusively by Democrat politicians, and it's been total one-party control of the inner cities. For 100 years, it's been one-party control, and look at them. We can name one after another, but I won't do that, because I don't want to be controversial. We want no controversy. The Democrat record is one of neglect and corruption and decay, total decay. The Democrats have taxed and regulated jobs and opportunity out of these cities and out of existence. They've squeezed the blood out of them. Left-wing mayors and city councils have opposed school choice, trapping children and failing in government schools left and right. So many of these mayors right now, you know where they are? They're in jail. That's where they are. Republicans believe that every parent has the right to send their children to the school of their choice. But the greatest betrayal committed by the Democrats is their support for open borders. And these open borders would overwhelm schools and hospitals, drain public services, and flood communities with poisonous drugs. It's tough enough. And I want to thank, by the way, the country of Mexico. They've got 21,000 soldiers on the border right now. I'm starting to like Mexico a lot. They do a lot more for us than the Democrats do, right? A lot more. And the numbers are way down. You'll see that. Way, way down. Democrat lawmakers care more about illegal aliens than they care about their own constituents. They put foreign citizens before American citizens. We're not going to do that. 572 people were murdered in Chicago last year. You must have a Democrat mayor. Do you have a Democrat mayor? Come on, law enforcement. Democrat mayor. Cincinnati, do you have a Democrat mayor? Well, that's what happens. You see, there are thousands of people outside, and I said, I agree. You know, we set a new record tonight at this arena, but we could get... But we could get a few more on the floors, a few more up here. We could get, and they're outside, where it's 100 degrees out, and they weren't able to let us do it. And I said, is that run by the Democrats? The answer is yes. I said, so you got a lot of hot people outside, but we broke the all-time record. So the homicide rate in Baltimore is significantly higher than El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala. I believe it's higher than, give me a place that you think is pretty bad. Give me a place. The guy says Afghanistan. I believe it's higher than Afghanistan. In our country, think of that. I believe we'll check the numbers, and if we're wrong, they will tell us tomorrow. It'll be headlines. Trump exaggerated. I do believe the rate is higher than Afghanistan. Yet Democrats, and they've run it for many years, want to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on illegal migrants instead of supporting their own struggling communities. No good, no good. The conditions in Nancy Pelosi's once great city of San Francisco are deplorable. They're deplorable. Do you remember the word deplorable? You remember when Hillary used the word deplorable? She used two words. She used deplorable and irredeemable, right? And only being a politician for a few years, I said, what a terrible mistake that she used the word irredeemable. But it turned out to be deplorable. Deplorable was not a good day for Hillary. Crooked Hillary. She is a crooked one. She's crooked. She is crooked. Nearly half of all the homeless people living in the streets in America happen to live in the state of California. What they are doing to our beautiful California is a disgrace to our country. It's a shame. The world is looking at it. Look at Los Angeles with the tents and the horrible, horrible, disgusting conditions. Look at San Francisco. Look at some of your other cities. And then you have a governor. You have a governor that invites the whole world to come into California. We'll pay for your health care. We'll pay for, and then you wonder why so many people are coming up. They're coming up because we're the hottest economic country in the world, but they're also coming up because you have people like that governor saying, come on up, we'll give you health care, come on. Who wouldn't come up? Who wouldn't come up? How crazy is this? How crazy is this? Schools, health care. Today I have a simple proposal for Democrat leaders to support legislation to end illegal migration, and we will use the vast savings to rebuild our inner cities. That's the way we should be doing it. That's what we should be doing. And by the way, you know, they keep talking about, oh, the voters, the voters, the voters. They want all sorts of security. What about a thing called voter ID, voter identification? Rob Portman, please work on that, Rob Portman. You have a great senator. Would you please start working on that? You see the response every place I go. Rob. Please, Rob. Voter ID. They give you everything they can give you except like voter ID and the things that matter. Republicans believe that a nation must care for its own citizens first. Our pledge to America's workers has secured commitments to train more than 12 million Americans for the jobs of tomorrow. You know who's working very hard on that? You probably never heard of her. Ivanka Trump. She's working very hard. She gave up a lot. She had a very easy life, but she loves doing it. She's got over, I think now, 12 million people. They're teaching them, the great companies of our country, they're teaching people how to do it. And it's an incredible thing to watch. To give former prisoners a second chance at life, we passed groundbreaking criminal justice reform that nobody could have passed except us. President Obama tried. A lot of them tried. They couldn't get it passed. I got it passed with a lot of help from liberals and conservatives and a lot of help. And the biggest beneficiary is the African American community. Biggest beneficiary. Right? And something which a lot of people don't talk about, but we doubled the child tax credit, doubled it. And our tax plan also created nearly 9,000 opportunity zones, hottest thing going, providing massive new incentives for investment and job creation in distressed communities. You okay? Take your time, take your time. Doctor in the house, please. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Don't forget, it's 100 degrees in here. That person's been standing there for almost a day, if you think about it. A lot of you, so I appreciate it. And you know what? They'll come back. They'll get a little something and they'll come right back. Because there's never been anything like this. There's never been anything, right? Thank you. Incredible. We established more than 300 opportunity zones in Ohio alone, and these are really working out incredibly well. Nationwide, nearly 8 million African Americans live in opportunity zones, but every Democrat voted against them. Every single Democrat, because they vote as a bloc. It's the only thing they do good. They stick together. Their policy's no good. They're lousy politicians, but they stick together like glue. The only thing they have. That's the only thing they have going. Democrats deliver poverty for their constituents and privilege for themselves. Republicans deliver jobs, safety, and opportunity for all Americans. And we're thrilled to be joined tonight by many terrific Republican leaders, and we'll start off with a man who had a very, very tough race for governor. A lot of people choke. They choke like dogs. They can't breathe. Oh, they can't breathe. This guy was running against a so-called star. So that's two protesters, and tomorrow night the headline will be protesters protesting. You know what happened to the second one? He looked at the guy in front of him and he said, I'm out of here, bye. That's the way it works. That's the way it works, I guess. Too bad. But a man who really has done a fantastic job. He campaigned so hard, and this was a star right from the fields of the great Pocahontas, who's now lying and cheating her way to the presidency, if possible. She's trying to win, remember? She defrauded people with her credentials. She said she was Indian, and I said that I have more Indian blood than she does, and I have none. I'm sorry. And we drove her crazy. And we drove her crazy. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And she went out, and she had a blood test done, and it came out 1,024th. He said somewhere back there, hundreds of years ago, there may have been an Indian. Or it may have been a statistical error because it was so small, which it was. Anyway, but the guy was like from her group. You wouldn't be very happy right now, and we have a man that campaigned so hard, relentless. And I came in, we did a rally where we had people like this. It was packed the day before the election. And Mike DeWine won that election, and he won it easily. Mike DeWine. And we have a man who's running for governor of Kentucky again. And he's done an incredible job. And, you know, did you ever hear, sometimes you can do such a good job that not everybody appreciates it. But they had a lot of problems with pensions and a lot of tremendous problems that a normal governor would never have been able to correct. But when you correct it, you make yourself a little bit less popular. But he had no choice, and they had no choice. It's a great, great state. And he has turned out to be a great, great governor, Matt Bevin. And he's running in November. And because I like him so much, Matt, get a nice big arena ready. We're going to do a rally for you, okay? And a man whose fantastic son is here tonight, who I just met, incredible. When I ran with him, he was down. I said, you know, Rob Portman's down. And then about 4 weeks later, he was up by like 24 points. I said, what the hell did you do? And you know what he did? He does a great job. That's what he did. Senator Rob Portman. Great guy. And we have a few guys that, these are warriors. A couple of them you saw the other day, they were questioning Bob Mueller. That was a beauty. He was sharp, wasn't he? He was sharp as a tack. And Steve Chabot and Brad Winstrup and Warren Davidson and Andy Barr and a man named Greg Pence, who happens to be a brother of somebody I know very well. They have been with us through thick and thin, and it's been mostly really good times, because what we've done, no other administration in the first 2.5 years in history has done. Thank you, fellas. Great job. Good. A couple of them gave a grilling. They gave a grilling. All they had to do is mention the facts, and it was over. And also the auditor of the great state of Ohio, a man whose job I made much easier because you have money pouring in, you have companies pouring in, Keith Faber. How is it, Keith? The numbers are good, Keith. Numbers are good, right? Yeah. The numbers are good. Ohio President Larry Opoff. Larry, thank you. So percentage-wise, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And that's because President Obama basically was not able for about 3 years to get his people in, which is a shame. And I came in, I had 148 openings. I said, you're supposed to have none. I said, how many do we have? 148. I said, you got to be kidding. And we've all done a good job together, Rob. It's been amazing with Mitch and you and everybody. It's been amazing. So we're going to be up to, within 2 months, 179 federal judges. That's in 2.5 years. And what else? 2 great Supreme Court judges. Great ones. And there's only one person, I think most of you must know this, who percentage-wise has done better than me with judges. Tell me. I'll give you a hint. He appointed 100% of the federal judges and 100% of the United States Supreme Court. George Washington. That's one record we're not going to beat. But I appointed many more than him, so let's take it that way. Many more. I also want to introduce a friend of mine who's done an incredible job. She's really something. She has been incredible as a leader of the GOP. She's the chair, and she's my friend, Jane Timken. And a man, Bob Paduchek. Do you know Bob Paduchek? So Bob, I had to pick a campaign manager in Ohio. And I kept hearing from the media, you must win the state of Ohio. I heard this over and over for like a year and a half. You must win Ohio. You must win. So I had to pick a campaign manager. And I picked a man named Bob Paduchek. And no matter what happened, no matter how badly we were doing, he said, sir, you're going to win Ohio easily. I said, but Bob, we just lost the head of the GOP in Ohio. He left because you have a certain governor that asked him to leave. Great support from the governor. A different governor than Mike, by the way, slightly. So he had to get out. So I said, we just lost. And Bob said, don't worry about it, sir. You're going to win. In fact, I think you just went up. Then we lost a couple of other people. I'd call him, I'd say, Bob, I'm worried about Ohio. Very worried. He said, don't worry about it, sir. I think you just went up. He kept saying, you just went up. I said to somebody, I don't know much about this guy, but boy, he's the most optimistic person I've ever met. Sure. And we ended up, he said, don't worry. We ended up winning Ohio by close to 9 points, which is unheard of. So he was right. Bob Paduchek. Bob. And also here tonight, I don't know, did he do a good job? My son, Donald Jr. and Kimberly. I hope he did a good job. Good. I heard you did. I heard you did a great job. He's been a great help. They both have, and thank you very much. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you very much. Our shared Republican agenda is pro-worker, pro-jobs, pro-family, pro-growth, and 100% pro-American. We've eliminated a record number of job-killing regulations, giving the average American household $3,000 more to spend every single year. The previous administration tried to shut down American energy and totally close it up, American clean, beautiful coal. That's what they did. That didn't work out too well. But you had to suffer You know what? It didn't work out well, but you had to suffer for a long time until I came along. You're not suffering any longer. The previous administration, they liked windmills, you know, windmills. If a windmill is within 2 miles of your house is practically worthless. They make noise, they're intermittent, they kill your birds, they break down all the time. You have to replace them every 10 years because they wear out. And they cost a fortune and they need subsidy. Other than that, they're quite good. You don't want to have you don't want one of those windmills within vision. You hear them. They're noisy. Got a lot of problems. No, we're going to stay with the great energy that's powering our businesses, that's creating so many jobs. And solar, you know what? We'll live with solar, but solar is peanuts by comparison to what you need. But we're going to stay the way we have it. We've ended the war on American energy, and we're putting our coal miners back to work, and our steel workers back to work, and our auto companies back to work. And, you know, we've learned over the last 3 years the incredible gold that we're sitting on top of in this country. We're very lucky. We're now the largest energy producer in the entire world, bigger than Soviet Union, formerly. Remember the Soviet Union when it was all together? The Soviet Union, when it was all together, before they decided we got to call ourselves Russia. When it was all together, they wanted to be, that was always their dream, to be the biggest in the world. Then it became Russia. And you know what? They've done a good job with energy. And so has Saudi Arabia done a good job with energy. But we are now bigger than Russia. We are now bigger than Saudi Arabia by far. And I withdrew our country from the job-killing, very expensive Paris Climate Accord. Last year, coal exports were up 92% compared to 2016. 92%, do you believe that? You're shipping it all over the world to Vietnam. I was in Vietnam and they said, we get coal from Ohio, we get coal from West Virginia. It's the finest coal in the world. We've created more than 110,000 new mining jobs. And thanks to states like Ohio, the United States is now the #1 producer of oil, the #1 producer of natural gas, the #1, everything having to do with energy, #1 anywhere in the world. We're reversing decades of calamitous trade policies that led other countries to pillage our jobs, plunder our factories, and devastate Ohio communities and communities in every state. The era of economic surrender is over. When you look at what they've done to your jobs over a period of time, NAFTA was one of the worst deals ever made, and probably the worst deal. You still have empty buildings, empty factories, but now they're getting filled up pretty fast or being knocked down for brand new ones. We have hundreds of new companies pouring into the United States. My first week in office, I withdrew the United States from one of the last administration's worst sellouts. It would have destroyed our automobile industry. It would have destroyed manufacturing in this country. And maybe that's what President Obama meant when he said you can't produce manufacturing jobs anymore in the United States, because he would have signed Trans-Pacific Partnership and he would have been right. I killed it. And by the way, TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, would have destroyed the automobile industry in this country. Already they ship down 30% of your jobs to Mexico. Under the new USMCA, that's Mexico and Canada. We got to get them to vote on that because that's an incredible deal. But under the new, it's going to be very hard for companies to leave you, to fire you, to go down, to make their product, whatever it may be, to send it back into the United States with no tax. All we end up with is unemployment and taxes and empty buildings. So they got to vote on the USMCA. Before I took office, foreign countries ripped us off, robbed us blind, and pushed us around. But America is not being pushed around anymore. Do you realize that? Do you realize that? I think I got that from working in Ohio for 2 summers, right? We've taken the toughest ever action to stand up to China's trade abuse. And I just announced another 10% tariff on $300 billion worth of Chinese products that come into our country. And that's on top of the 25% that we take of $250 billion coming in from China. And don't let them tell you, the fact is, China devalues their currency. They pour money into their system. They pour it in. And because they do that, you're not paying for those tariffs. China's paying for those tariffs. For the last 20 years, China's taken hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars out of our country, and now we're stopping the theft of American jobs. We're stopping the theft of so many other things happening, including intellectual property. They steal our intellectual property. And, you know, I think they want to try and make a deal with us, but I'm not sure. Because the word is, I feel, they want to wait till they get, oh, they're praying. They're praying. They would like to see a new president in a year and a half so they could continue to rip off the United States like they've been doing for the last 25 years. They would love to see a guy like Sleepy Joe Biden, who has no clue what the hell he's doing. They'd say to Sleepy Joe, sir, just sign right there. Oh, okay. I'll sign. We've been losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year to China. It has to stop, and they understand that. President Xi is a good man. He's a friend of mine. He understands it. And until such time as there is a deal, we will be taxing the hell out of China. That's all there is. Okay? If foreign countries don't want to pay a tariff, I have a simple solution. Make your product in America. Come on back to the United States. Come on back to Ohio. There's no tariff. There's no tariff. Thanks to steel tariffs, hundreds of thousands of tons, think of this, were dumped on our shores. And steel is like something else. It's not quality. They were dumping garbage. They call it sand steel. They call it dirt steel. It was mixed up. It was bad stuff. And we didn't want to use that for our jet fighters and for our beams that hold up buildings. But they were dumping tremendous quantities of steel. And what was happening is United States Steel and all of our companies were going virtually out of business, and I stopped it. I put on a 25% tariff. Billions of dollars is now pouring into our treasury, and our steel companies and our steel workers are coming back. Right here in Ohio, Nucor, a great steel company, and a steel company that's doing great again, Nucor, has announced an $85 million upgrade in Marion. Charter Steel announced plans to build a new $150 million steel mill in Cuyahoga Heights. And Cleveland Cliffs announced a new $700 million plant in a very good place that I like a lot, Toledo, Ohio. And this was unthinkable because 4 years ago, steel plants were closing. They weren't expanding and they weren't building. We're building new plants in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, all over, not just Ohio. On issue after issue, Democrats have forgotten who it is that they're supposed to represent. They forgot. I wonder why they forgot. The job of elected officials is to represent American citizens. The radical Democrats even support deadly sanctuary cities which release dangerous criminals onto our streets. Sanctuary cities. And many of the places that have sanctuary cities and many of the people that live there, they don't want them. They don't want them. They're dangerous. They're not good. Here are just a few examples. In San Francisco, an illegal alien was arrested no fewer than 10 times in the span of less than 1 year for numerous counts of burglary and theft. Yet each time San Francisco defied federal authorities and set him free. And bad things happened when they set him free. A sanctuary jurisdiction in California recently released a criminal alien from jail. The very next month, the same individual was arrested for rape. And then beyond anything you would even believe, a horrible thing happened. But yet again, he was released back into your community. After a sanctuary city in New Jersey released an alien charged with domestic violence, he was arrested in Missouri for the murders of 3 people. In the bizarre worldview of the third and hard left, they have no problem destroying the lives of innocent Americans for a single politically incorrect thought. But they want to virtually, and you know this, they want virtual immunity for illegal aliens who have committed horrible crimes and murder. Horrible crimes and murder. Republicans believe our cities should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. And yes, we just won a big lawsuit last week. In fact, one of my lawyers for winning that lawsuit is here tonight. I gave him a little reprieve. We need a lot of lawyers in the White House. We get sued so much, so unfairly. But we're winning those lawsuits left and right. But one of them is here. He said, I'd love to go to a rally. I said, I'm going to a place called Cincinnati, Ohio. You deserve it. We just won the lawsuit on the wall. Where's Pat? We just won the lawsuit on the wall. You hear that? And we're building the wall faster and better than ever. It's time for Democrats to end sanctuary cities. and catch and release. You know what you do? You catch them, and then you release them. And you say, would you please report back in 4 years from now? But only 2% come back. You know why? Because they're not the smartest. They are not the smartest. They're the ones we don't want to have come back. Only 2% show up, catch and release. We could end it immediately if the Democrats gave. So what we're doing is something else. We're keeping them out altogether. We're replacing random migration, and we're replacing the lottery system. How about the lottery system? How about lotteries? This was Chuck Schumer. You put the name in a basket. The country puts the name in the basket, and you pick people out of the lottery. Well, let's see. This one's a murderer. This one robbed 4 banks. This one, I better not say. This one, another murderer. Ladies and gentlemen, another murderer. Think of this. Do you think they're going to put their great citizens? They have great citizens. They have great people like we have great people. Do you think those people are going into a lottery? No. And then we get these people coming in, and we hold it against the country. The country isn't based on that. The country, you just take a look. Look at the people they put into these lotteries. It's a disgrace. And how we've done this for so many years, folks, just how we've done this. It's an immigration system that's totally broken, and we're going to win the House, we're going to win the Senate, we're going to win the presidency, and we're going to do a merit-based immigration system. Merit-based. Merit-based immigration. And we need that because we have companies coming in from all over the world, and we need good workers. We need good people. We're down to 3.5% unemployment. We need people. But we want people to come in based on merit, not based on some lottery put in by a government. Democrats have never been farther outside the mainstream. Liberal politicians want to eliminate private health care and force everyone onto the government plan. Remember the lies from the previous administration. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. 28 times, one lie after another. 28 times it was said, and it turned out to be a total lie. My administration is defending your right to choose the plan and doctor that is best for you. We're offering right now plans up to 60% cheaper than Obamacare, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions, always, always. Virtually every top Democrat also now supports late-term abortion. And then you'll have like a governor of Virginia. It's not only late-term abortion, it's killing the baby after the baby is born. How about that? Think of that. Think of that. That's why I've asked Congress to prohibit extreme late-term abortion, because Republicans believe that every child is a sacred gift from God. Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, and they're the party, frankly, of socialism. The Republican Party is the party of freedom. We're the party of the American worker, the American family. We're the party of the American dream. I'm fighting for you each and every day. I had a great life. I used to get great publicity. Nobody got better publicity. I had such a great life. It was so easy. My great wife, the First Lady, Melania, she said, you know, you've always been a hard worker. You love to work. But your life was a lot easier in the old days. But I love it. And you know why I love it? Because we're accomplishing so much. Nobody ever thought it would be possible to do the things we're doing. Even a thing like right to try, right? Right to try. They've been trying to get that for years and years and years. That's people that are really sick, terminally ill. They couldn't get medicine. We have the greatest doctors, the greatest clinics, the greatest technicians in the world. They couldn't get anything. They'd travel to Asia if they had money. They travel to Europe. They travel all over the world hoping for a cure. If they had no money, they'd just go home. They'd die. They had no hope. For 44 years, they've been trying to get right to try. We are so advanced in medicine. We have a lot of things that probably work or possibly work. But we weren't allowed legally to give that to these people that were so sick. You know why? Because they didn't want this drug, if it didn't work, to hurt the people. But the people were terminally ill. So I got it approved. And it wasn't easy. It was complicated. The insurance companies didn't want to do it. The government didn't want to do it. The doctors didn't want to do it. Tremendous liability. But our country didn't want to do it. They said, well, if it doesn't work, we're going to get sued. I say, so they'll sign an agreement, very strong, one page, taking all liability away from the United States, from the drug companies, from the doctors, all liability. They're terminally ill. Let's try it. And you know what? It's been a miracle. So many people have done so well. It's great. We got it done. When I said about the agreement, they had these great lawyers, and they said, gee, that's a good idea. They've been working on this for years. They said, that's a good idea. I said, yeah, it's a good idea. How about getting it to me like in about 2 hours? Right to try, it's a great thing. But we have so many things like that. I have lists that you wouldn't even believe. I have lists that go on for pages of things we've done. We've launched a historic initiative to reduce the price of prescription drugs, including a plan to allow companies to import lower-cost drugs from other countries. It's a very unfair system. Our country pays the highest prices in the world. Last year was the first time in 51 years that drug pricing for prescription drugs actually came down. Now we're going to bring it down by a lot. We're going to bring it down a lot. And now, so other countries, here's an example. Canada pays half the price for a lot of drugs than we do. So we have a great governor in the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, calls me up, doing a great job, Ron DeSantis. He was at 3 and he went to 70. That's a pretty good increase, right? Ron DeSantis is a great governor. And he comes to me and goes, you know, if you buy the drugs, if we buy the drugs, because this is so botched up, we have a middleman, it's not a good situation. He said, if I could go and buy the drugs from Canada, I could save 50%. I said, do it. Do it. And if you can buy them from Europe, because the system, like, remember I used to scream when I was winning states and not getting the delegates that I was entitled to? And I'd say the system is rigged. Well, the drug system is rigged. It's rigged. So if we can buy the same drug made by the same pharmaceutical company from Europe or from Canada or from other places at a big, deep discount, we're doing it, and we're giving them the right to do it. Just happened today. And we're doing one other thing that, believe it or not, is even bigger, but you'll be seeing that over the next 2 weeks. With the help of your great Senator, Rob Portman, we've taken bold action to confront the opioid epidemic, and in Ohio, drug overdose deaths went down 22% last year. 22%. Oh, but think of that. Opioid, big problem. Big problem. Deaths went down. Opioid deaths, 22%. Nobody writes that. Nobody talks about that. They don't want to talk about that. Good job, Rob. Good job. Good job, Mike. We passed VA choice and VA accountability on behalf of our great veterans. They've been trying to pass VA choice for 4 decades. They couldn't get it done. We got it done. We got it done. This is where a veteran would stand online for 3, 4, 5, 6 days, for 3 weeks, for 5 weeks. Sometimes they're okay. By the time they see a doctor, they're terminally ill. And I said, you know, I have a great idea, because I've not been doing that this long. You know, we've been working on this I've been thinking about it a lot. This was during the campaign. What a campaign that was, right? Was that a campaign or what? And I came back to my people, I had experts, and I said, I have a great idea. These lines for the veterans are too long. It takes them 3, 4 weeks sometimes to see a doctor. I have a great idea. Let's let them go outside, go to a private doctor. We'll pay the bill. They'll be fixed up, all perfect, and they can do it immediately. We'll pay the bill. And I said, man, am I smart. I am the smartest guy to think of that. So I went before this panel of experts that were with me working on things, and I said, how do you like that idea? And they said, sir, we've known about it for about 40 years, but we've never been able. I said, really? You've known about it that long? But here's the thing. We got it done. Nobody else could get it done. Nobody else. And accountability. You couldn't fire anybody. If they were treating our vets badly, you couldn't fire them for anything. People could steal. They could be sadistic to our vets. By the way, they wouldn't have done that in prime time to our vets, I can tell you that. They can be whatever they want. You couldn't fire them. And it was because of unions, and it was because of other things. Civil service, very tough. You couldn't fire anybody for almost anything. We had cases where people got caught stealing a lot of money, and you couldn't fire them. We got VA accountability. Now we say, Jim, get the hell out of here. You're fired. We're rebuilding our military, and after years of budget cuts and layoffs, the Army tank plant in, do you know Lima? You call it Lima, right? See? You know, most people call it Lima, but I know Lima. You know why? Because I came here, and they said, we're closing this plant. I said, what kind of a plant is it? Remember when I was here? In Lima. And I used to say, you mean Lima? They said, no, sir, it's Lima. That's why. Hey, look, I'll be honest with you. Because they have it wrong on the teleprompter, okay? And I would have been in big trouble. But the good news is I don't use the teleprompter too much. If I did, you would have been out of here a long time ago, because it gets very boring when you do the teleprompter deal. But in Lima, and I said, what kind of a plant? And I said, let's go see it. During the campaign, I went to see it, and they make the best Army tank in the world. And I couldn't believe the complexity, the genius. I said, wait a minute, you close this, you'll never be able to open it again. You can't open this. This isn't like a normal situation that you can open 4 walls and a roof? This is complicated. This is genius. And you'll never replace these men and women that work here. I said, and I didn't know anything at the time, other than I said, you're not closing it. They took it off the list. They kept it open. And now we're making Army tanks around the clock. We're investing in the future of human space flight. Americans won the race to the moon, and we will now win the race to Mars. It's going to be amazing. And you know, one thing I have to say also, and we're also winning the race to great strategic defense and offense. Not just Mars. And Mike Pence is doing a great job on that. Great job. To protect America's security, I withdrew the United States from the horrible Iran nuclear deal, a horrible, stupid deal. We gave Iran $150 billion. We gave Iran $1.8 billion in cash, plane loads of cash. I wonder what they saw when those planes landed. I wonder what happened to the cash. Can you believe it? $1.8 billion we gave them in cash. And remember what I said, Iran is a much different country than 2.5 years ago. When I took over, Iran was all over. They had 14 to 18 different sites of confliction. They were all over. And now they just want to, they want to negotiate a deal so badly. Iran. I recognized Israel's true capital and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And just a few months ago, we recognized the Golan Heights. You know that. That's another one, big one, for the security of Israel. We also recognize the legitimate government of Venezuela, and we condemn any of the socialist brutality taking place. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what happens. Tonight we renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country. Never, ever, ever will it be a socialist country. No matter what label they use, a vote for any Democrat in 2020 is a vote for the rise of radical socialism and the destruction of our great, our beautiful, our wonderful American dream. We're not going to let our country ever go down the route of socialism. You must never forget that the 2020 election is about one thing. It's about you. I say it again, I say it all the time. Never happened before. There's never been a movement like this. They've had movements. They never went. They won a state. They did well in a state. We won 32 states. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything like it. But this movement is about your family and your future, and it's about the life and the fate of your country. We begin our hey, look, this is a good place. Is this a great thing to do? We begin our campaign, and we're going to do great, Bob. Right, Bob? Bob, if we don't do great, you're fired, Bob. You're fired. But think of it, our Ohio campaign with the best record, the best results, the best agenda, and the only positive vision for our nation's future. And again, remember this, Ohio is doing better today than it's ever, ever, ever done before. It's the best it's ever done. So what's going to do? A guy like a sleepy Joe Biden is going to come in and say, but I can do better. I can do better. He wants to go back to sleep. Together we will continue unleashing the power of American enterprise so every American can reach their fullest and highest potential, tremendous potential. Our country has such tremendous potential. You know, we've had the last week, we've had the highest stock market in the history of our country. That means 401ks. That means jobs. But there's tremendous potential to go up. We have tremendous potential to go up. With your help, we will elect a Republican Congress to create a safe, modern, fair, and lawful system of immigration. We will enact trade deals that ensure more products are proudly stamped with those 4 beautiful words, made in the USA or made in America. Either one, you can use either one. Made in America, made in the US. We will achieve new breakthroughs in science and medicine, and I see what they're doing. I see it. They show me the things we're doing in our country today. There's never been anything like it. We will be ending the AIDS epidemic shortly in America and curing childhood cancer very shortly. We will defend privacy, free speech, religious liberty, and the right to keep and bear arms. And just remember, with the Democrats, there is no Second Amendment. You can forget about keep and bear arms. You can forget it. Above all, we will never stop fighting for the values that bind us together as one America. We will never, ever stop fighting. We support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. We stand with our incredible heroes of law enforcement. We believe in the dignity of work, and we believe in the sanctity of life. And we believe that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the true American way. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and always be proud, patriotic Americans. And we will always live by the words of our national motto, "In God we trust." Two days ago, I spoke at the 400th anniversary of the first representative legislature assembly at Jamestown, Virginia. It was beautiful. It was incredible. I must tell you, I was reminded of so many great things in our country. We have been blessed with such a remarkable and priceless heritage. We are the greatest republic on the face of the earth, and we are going to keep it that way. my presidency, we will never forget that we are Americans and the future belongs to us. The future belongs to all of you. The future belongs to the greatest movement in the history of our country. And with your help and your devotion and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one people and one family, saluting one great American flag. We all share the same home, we all share the same heart, and we all share the same love of Almighty God. Together, with the great and proud people of Ohio, we are making America wealthy again. We are making America strong again. We are making America safe again. We are making America great again, and with your vote in 2020, we will keep America great. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you.
Folks, thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. President Trump, fantastic speech from Cincinnati, Ohio. We would like to thank everyone that stuck with us, even though we had a temporary glitch. The internet went down. It was pretty crazy stuff, folks. It has never really happened to us while a rally's been going on. But the internet just completely shut down. And, you know, we had a little bit of buffering going on, but a lot of patriots stayed here and supported us through that. And we'd like to thank every single one of you that stayed here with us at Golden State Times. You guys are awesome, awesome patriots. And we love you so much, folks, because you guys stick with us. Whether we, you know, go down for a minute, 2 minutes, it doesn't matter. You guys just stick here with us and we continue with this, folks. Like I said, thank you so much. Right now, we are uploading the video on social media. So make sure you guys, make sure that you guys continue helping us here at Golden State Times. If you guys missed the speech, at all, we're going to be playing it just for a little bit. Here we go, folks. In case you guys missed it, we're going to replay it a little bit. So here we go.
And this great congressman said, I don't know, sir, but I can tell you one thing. if the rest of the country is voting like Tennessee is voting, you're going to win by a lot, and we won by a lot. Our nation is stronger today than ever before. We have the #1 economy on earth. No economy is so strong. We're rebuilding the awesome might of the United States military, and soon it will be stronger, relatively speaking, than at any time in our history. And when we took over, it was depleted.
Is that what you want?
We took over a depleted military. It's not depleted anymore, I can tell you.
We're going live to Kate and Micah. It's been a frustrating.
Our spirit is strong, our stride is back, and our stand is clear. We are finally putting America first.
So, stand by. I know that.
Cincinnati, we do apologize for that. We're not, multi-million-dollar companies. We don't own satellite trucks. We're running purely off of live views, which bonds cellular technology together to produce a stream out. And unfortunately, it wasn't just us. Every other media group, local media, national media, all of the live views and TV views were down. There was no signal coming in and out of this arena. And the Wi-Fi was being taxed to its max, as I'm sure many of you saw. Of course, as we are closing out here, we do want to mention a couple of things. We do want to mention that Covfefe Coffee, which is an amazing company that has sponsored here with Right Side Broadcasting Company. They have 3 different flavors, going from light medium to dark roast. This one is the MAGA blend dark roast. Smells amazing. We had to open it up for security, and it's just been wafting through the meteorizers here, and it just smells great. And you can get this at doyoucovfefe.com. You can find it online. You can just type in Covfefe Coffee in Google, and you can use RSBN in the checkout to get I believe, free shipping as long as you order at least 2 bags. So be sure to check out Covfefe Coffee at doyoucovfefe.com. Of course, you can Google it as well. So we did want to mention that. Great sponsor. I love it. I'm just smelling it right now, and it smells great. So thank you so much for that. We're going to go ahead and bring in Tom here. Tom's going to come in. And Tom, tell us a little bit about how it went today. What do you think? Do you think the president made good leeway in talking to the voters of Ohio?
Absolutely. President Trump went on the offensive tonight, going after the Democrats with their debates in the last 2 nights, trying to appeal to moderates and Democrats here in Ohio to vote for him in the 2020 campaign. Like I said, President Trump went on the offensive, laying the groundwork for the 2020 campaign. America, saying America will never be a socialist country. Vice President Pence introducing President Trump tonight had a little bit of a sense of humor, which was nice to see from Vice President Mike Pence. He asked the people to fight for President Trump. He's asking them to fight for him in the 2020 campaign. People really responded to that. Ohio is doing better economically than ever before. President Trump talked about that. The economics here in Ohio, jobs, jobs, jobs. We saw a lot of those signs here tonight at the rally, and the crowd really responding to that. Also, telling again, going on the offensive, the Democratic Party being one of destruction and decay. President Trump going on the offensive, attacking the Democrats, and whoever the nominee will be coming out of that race. A lot of attention paid to former Vice President Joe Biden, who leads the polls for the Democrats. He also called out the mayors, like the city of Baltimore, calling out a lot of them are run by Democrat mayors. So he was calling them out and comparing and contrasting. One rally goer, there was a couple rally goers here that were protesting, and they were peacefully removed. There was no major problems or anything there. The rally goers, it seems to me like the rally goers are in love with President Trump's personality. There was a lot of love in the room, and the people really responding to President Trump's handling of the speech tonight and different talking points. Judicial, 179 federal.
I was cold.